Hi all, welcome to another video of the subject Power System Analysis based on KTU syllabus, and we are on module 5, and today we are going to discuss the economic dispatch of thermal power plant neglecting the losses. So in this video we will mainly discussing how the loads are divided into different generators. Okay, actually how we can divide the equally divide that is based on the incremental production cost, how you can divide the total loads into different generators and all. So here we are neglecting the losses because normally in urban areas we know that the transmission distances are very small, so hence transmission losses can be neglected there. So hence the optimum strategy of generation is based on equal incremented production cost. Okay, that we will discuss later. So the economic dispatch problem is defined as the minimum FT, where FT is the total fuel input to the system. If you are having a system, FT is the total fuel input to the system. It can be defined as it is equal to sigma n equal to 1 to n Fn, where Fn is the fuel input to nth unit. That is, if you are having number of generators in a single plant. Okay, if you are having 3 generators, then this Ft will be equal to, we can say that F1 plus F2 plus F3, like that. Okay, and subjected to PD, where PD is the total load demand. Okay, and Pn the generation of nth unit. Okay, this is the generation of the nth unit. That is, if you are having 3 generators, the total generation will be P1 plus P2 plus P3. So it should be meet the load demand. Okay, that is load demand PD. So by making use of Lagrangian multiplier, the auxiliary function is obtained as F is equal to Ft plus lambda into Pd minus sigma n equal to 1 to n Pn, where lambda is the Lagrangian multiplier. Okay, and the optimum operation of the system can be obtained by differentiating the function f. Okay, with respect to Pn and equating to 0. Okay, that is we can see here, that is, if you are differentiating the function f with respect to Pn, that is dou f by dou Pn is equal to dou ft by dou Pn plus lambda into 0 minus 1. Okay, here that is lambda into this PD. Okay, PD will be a constant, and if you are differentiating with respect to Pn, it will become 1. Okay, so lambda into 0 minus 1, and it is equating to 0. Okay, that is dou f by dou Pn, it is equating to 0. And from that we will get the dou f t by dou Pn minus lambda is equal to 0, where this dou ft by dou Pn, okay, dou ft by dou Pn will be equal to lambda. From this equation we can say that dou ft by dou Pn will be equal to that lambda. Okay, hence we can write, that is, this ft, we already know that ft is equal to f1 plus f2 up to fn. That is dou ft by dou Pn. Okay, if you are writing that, that is dou ft by dou Pn will be equal to dou fn by dou Pn, and it is equal to lambda. Okay, that is, this term is equal to lambda, and therefore the condition for optimum operation will be, for optimum operation, this df1 by dpn should be equal to df2 by dp2 should be equal to df3 by dp3 should be equal to etc. up to lambda. Okay, that is the incremental production cost. This df1 by dp1 is the incremental production cost of plant 1. Okay, this is the incremental production cost of plant 2. Okay, like that. So this incremental production cost of all plant, okay, should be equal, okay, and should be equal to lambda, where here we have already said that is dfn by dpn is the incremental production cost of plant n in rupees per megawatt hour. Okay, so the incremental production cost of a given plant over a limited range is represented by, we can have another equation as dfn by dpn is equal to fnn into Pn plus Fn, small fn. Okay, where this Fnn is the slope of the incremental production cost curve. If you are plotting that curve, okay, that is the production cost, here's the load demand and all, that is we will get the slope of the incremental production cost curve, and the Fn will be the intercept of incremental production cost curve. Okay, so dFn by dPn can be written as Fnn into Pn plus small fn. Okay, so here we can see that this dFn by dPn is already it is equal to lambda. Okay, so this equation will be equal to lambda is equal to Fnn into Pn plus small fn. Okay, so from that we can find the equation for Pn. Okay, Pn will be equal to lambda minus Fn by Fnn. Okay, like that. So this is also another equation. So here the equation 19.3, okay, this one means that the machine be so loaded that the incremental cost of production of each machine is same. Okay, that we already discussed. That is, the active power generation constraints are taken into account while solving the equations which are divided above. Okay, so if these constraints are violated for any generator, it is tied to the corresponding limit, and the rest of the load is distributed to the remaining generator units according to the equal incremental cost of production. Thereby we are actually distributing the load to different generators. So the simultaneous solutions gives the economic operating schedule, and we are using an iterative method. Okay, iterative method for solving that linear equation. So that is, you can see here a flow chart, you can see here. Okay, actually some steps we are following for doing that. That is, first we will assume a suitable value of lambda 0. Okay, lambda 0, this value should be more than the largest intercept of the incremental cost. It is very important. It should be more than the largest intercept of the incremental cost characteristics of various generators. Okay, so if you, while we are doing the problem, you will get more clear idea. Okay, you will get clear idea about that lambda and lambda 0 and all. Okay, and the second step is compute the individual generations P1, P2 and Pn corresponding to incremental cost of production from equation 19.3, that is the dFn by dPn. Okay, in case generation at any point of the bus is violated, the generation of that generator is fixed at the limit violated during that iteration, and the remaining load is distributed among the remaining generators. Okay, that we can see later. And check if the equality, that is sigma n equal to 1 to n, Pn is equal to Pd, is satisfied. That is, the total generation is equal to total load demand. If not, make a second guess for lambda. Okay, and repeat the above steps. That is, the if we have selected the lambda, okay, lambda earlier, if we have selected it as something, if we have selected as some value for lambda, and if this condition is not satisfied, we have to change that lambda again. Okay, that is, we have to increase or decrease the lambda in the previous steps. Okay, and we have to repeat the above steps. Okay, that is actually written here. For example, if we find that the total generation is less than PD, that is total load demand, then correct value of lambda to be selected would be lambda correct should be greater than lambda 0. Okay, like that. And actually this flow chart, starting from start, and read Fnn, Fn, Pd and epsilon. Okay, where Fnn is the we know that Fnn. Okay, actually Fn is the slope of the incremental production curve. Okay, slope of the incremental production curve is Fnn, and Fn is the intercept of the incremental production cost curve. Pd is the load demand, and epsilon means a tolerable value. Okay, a toleration we are giving to the iterations. Okay, until it reaches that value of epsilon, we will stop the entire iteration and all. Okay, something tolerance value. And first assume a suitable value of lambda. We have discussed in the steps 1. Okay, lambda and delta lambda, and set n is equal to 1. Okay, that is for Fn and Pn. Okay, in that equation, the above equation and all, this Pn and all, first we set the value of n is equal to 1. Okay, and solve the equation for Pn is equal to lambda minus Fn by Fnn. That is, that equation comes from here. Okay, that is, I already said that this equation is equal to lambda. Okay, so Pn will be equal to lambda minus Fn by Fnn. Okay, that is already written here. lambda minus fn by fnn. Check if pn is greater than pn max, that is the maximum value. Okay, if yes, set pn is equal to pn max, and if it is no, check if pn is less than pn minimum. Okay, if it is less than pn minimum, set pn is equal to pn minimum. Okay, we have to set that value, and again we have to increment the value of n as n equal to n plus 1. Okay, and check if all buses have been accounted, all the generators and buses have been accounted. If no, we have to again go to the previous steps, and if yes, calculate delta p, that is change in that power. Okay, that is delta p is equal to sigma pn minus pd. Okay, that is total generated power minus total load demand. If delta p is less than the tolerance value, change in that power. Okay, here actually we are neglecting the losses, then that delta p should be 0. Okay, but there may be some changes and all. Okay, so check whether that delta p is less than the tolerance value. If it is less than that tolerance value, we have to stop and print generation and calculate cost of generation. And if it is not, then we are checking for sigma n, that is total power generated. Okay, total generation, whether it is greater than the load demand. Okay, and if it is yes, we have to decrease the lambda, and if it is no, we have to increase the lambda by lambda plus delta lambda and all. Okay, so actually this is the flow chart I have described that here. And for an example, I am from this example you will clearly understand how that load distribution is happening here. So here we are considering two generators of 100 megawatt, that is F1 and F2. Okay, 1 and 2 generators are considering, and its incremental characteristics is given. Okay, df1 by dp1 and df2 by dp2 is given. Okay, so the minimal load on each unit is 10 megawatt. Okay, minimal load should be 10 megawatt, and the total load to be supplied is 150 megawatt. So we are having a requirement of 150 megawatt. Load is 150 megawatt. So we have to divide this 150 megawatt to each of the generators G1 and G2. Okay, two generators here, G1 and G2. Okay, so determine the economic operating schedule. We have to find the most economic operating schedule. Okay, so for that, here we are selecting the lambda as 2.8 because the lambda should be higher than the largest intercept. Okay, so this equation actually this equation is dfn. We know that dfn by dpn is equal to fnn, that is small fn plus fnn into pn. Okay, so this equation is based on this actual equation. So here the 2 will be fn, that is the intercept. Okay, and here 1.5 will be the fn, that is intercept. Okay, so the lambda should be larger than the highest intercept. So here the highest intercept is 2, so the lambda should be, here we are selecting the lambda as 2.8. Okay, just assuming we are taking an arbitrary value of lambda, and find based on that value of lambda we are finding the p1 and p2. Okay, p1 equation for p1. Okay, actually this df1 by dp1 itself is lambda. We know that this equation is equal to, okay, this is equal to lambda 1 and this is equal to lambda 2. Okay, so both lambdas are, we are selecting as lambda is equal to 2.8. Okay, from that, by rearranging this equation, p1 is equal to 2.8 minus 2 by 0.012, we will get a 66.6 and a p2 86.6. So p1 plus p2 153.3, 153.2. So it is above 150 megawatt. Okay, so we have to reduce the lambda here. Okay, we have to reduce the lambda from 2.8. So here we are assuming the lambda as 2.7. Okay, if you are assuming the lambda as 2.7, we will get the generations as 58.4 and 80. Okay, by substituting, by using the same equation out, we will get p1 as 58.4 and p2 as 80. So it is 138.4. So the lambda should be above this 2.7. Okay, so we are selecting the lambda as 2.75. This is, that should be above 2.7 and less than 2.8. So 2.75 we are selecting. So by using 2.75 we will get the total distribution as 145.9. So we have to increase the lambda again. So we are selecting 2.78. So if you are selecting 2.78, it is 150.4. So that is just near to 150. Okay, so it is to be seen here that the generations are converging as better approximations to lambda are chosen as finally between 2.77 and 2.78. Okay, so using the lambda as 2.77 and 2.78, we will get the optimal generation schedule. Okay, I hope all of you understand this topic well. So thank you.